Hello everyone and welcome to Learn English with Diala. Success Stories, Grade 7, KeyStone. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and share it to your social media platforms. Frida Kahlo, born in 1907, the extraordinary painter Frida Kahlo grew up in Coyoacán, an area which is now part of Mexico City. When she was 6 years old, Khalo got polio, a serious disease that often causes paralysis. As a result of her illness, Khalo's right leg was always thinner and weaker than her left one. She was also involved in a terrible bus accident when she was in college. Her injuries were so severe she was often hospitalized. It took her many months to recover from this accident. It was during this time that Kahlo began to paint from her bed. At the age of 21, Kahlo met Diego Rivera, a very famous Mexican painter. They got married in 1929. They shared a love of Mexican art and culture. In some of her self-portraits, Kahlo is wearing traditional Mexican clothing and jewelry. In addition to her many self-portraits, Kahlo painted portraits of friends. She is also famous for her still life paintings, pictures of arranged objects such as flowers and fruits. Frida Kahlo exhibited her work in New York City, Paris, and Mexico City. She died at the young age of 47. Her house in Mexico City, called Casa Azul, Blue House, is now the Frida Kahlo Museum. Her work and her life story continue to inspire people all over the world. Bill Gates, as an elementary school student in Seattle, Washington in the 1960s, Bill Gates excelled in science and mathematics. When he was in 8th grade, his school acquired an early computer. Bill Gates was excused from math class so he could work on a program for the computer. Later, he went to Harvard University, where he spent most of his time in the university's computer center. In 1975, Bill Gates started the Microsoft Corporation. The company developed Windows, the world's most widely used computer operating system. Bill Gates eventually became a multi-billionaire and the richest man in the world. In 2000, Gates and his wife started the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So far, the foundation has contributed $800 million to the United Nations Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunization to fight diseases. One disease, malaria, is spread by mosquitoes. Malaria affects about 500 million people every year and kills as many as 3 million people, mostly African children under 5 years of age. An easy way to prevent malaria is by using bed nets, which cost very little, but very few families can afford them. Bill Gates has said, "It just blows my mind how little money has been spent on malaria research. I just keep asking myself, do we really not care because it doesn't affect us? I refuse to sit there and say, okay, next problem. This one doesn't bother me. It does bother me very much, and the only way for that to change is to stop malaria. So that is what we are going to have to do." Muhammad Yunus. Muhammad Yunus was born in 1940 in a village in Bangladesh. He obtained a scholarship to study in the United States and earned a doctorate. He returned to Bangladesh in 1972 to teach economics. In 1974, Bangladesh suffered a terrible famine. Yunus decided that it was not enough to teach economics and read textbooks. He needed to do something practical. What What if these people were able to receive tiny loans or microcredit to improve their situation? Yunus started his project in a small village. He lent $27 to a group of 42 villagers. They made bamboo stools and bought a cow. And so the Grameen Bank was born. The Grameen Bank was very different from other banks. First, it provided very small loans. Second, it focused on women borrowers. Yunus believed that women were better at using and repaying loans. Third, only the very poorest people could obtain loans. The system was based on the trust of the bank and the enterprise of the women borrowers. If the borrowers failed to repay, the bank would fail, but it didn't. In 2006, Muhammad Yunus and the Grameen Bank were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Committee said, lasting peace cannot be achieved unless large population groups find ways in which to break out of poverty. Microcredit is one such means. May Jamison. May Jamison was born in 1956 in Decatur, Alabama. She grew up in Chicago, Illinois. When she was growing up, Jemison watched space flights on television. After college, she went to medical school and also took graduate courses in engineering. What she really wanted, however, was to be a space traveler. In 1987, Dr. Jemison was one of the 15 people out of almost 2,000 applicants chosen for NASA's astronaut training program. On September 12, 1992, Dr. Jamison and six other astronauts went into orbit aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour. Dr. Jamison was the first African American female astronaut. During her 7-day flight, she did experiments to understand the effects of weightlessness. She carried with her several small objects from West African countries. She did this to show her belief that space belongs to all nations. Dr. Jamison is currently a professor of community and family medicine at Dartmouth College, New Hampshire. She is active worldwide in science literacy and sustainable development. She has founded two companies that are devoted to integrating science, satellite based telecommunications, and technology into society, as well as an annual international science. Thank you for watching. See you soon.